Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Black Ops 6. After all this time, it finally happened. I unlocked Dark Matter here within this game. And while yes, I'm going to be doing a Dark Matter guide, I do that every single year where I try to make you guys a relatively quick video going over all the challenges, giving tips and tricks and everything else. Before I do that, I need to make this rant video here today because the challenges that we have in this game, thanks to skill-based matchmaking, almost made me lose my mind. It took about a 9-hour live stream yesterday for me to finish up all my challenges. And you may be thinking, well, what challenges were they? There weren't that many of them. I had to get 3 triple kills with all 3 of the sniper rifles. I had to get 3 triple kills with the combat knife as well as the baseball bat. I had to get 3 triple kills with the GPR. And then finally, the big one, taking down 5 bits of air support with both of the rocket launchers in 3 games, including the free fire launcher. That challenge alone took me like 4 hours, and I'm not even joking. It blows my mind how closely Dark Matter camo in this game is tied to skill-based matchmaking. We've talked about it in the past, how skill-based matchmaking fundamentally affects every aspect of the COD multiplayer experience, and that is true. Well, you look at the challenges here in this game and you would think, well, they're really not that hard. They're actually kind of comparable to what we had last year during Modern Warfare 3, where almost unanimously people seem to agree that the Modern Warfare 3 Interstellar grind was one of the easiest that we've ever had in the Call of Duty franchise. Well, this year you would think would be even easier. All we have to do is get 100 headshots. It's really not that hard, and I hear so many people talking about getting 20 headshots a game, and I'm like, what lobbies are you people playing in? I'm always happy if I could get 10 headshots in a single match, regardless of gun. If we're talking assault rifle, SMG, even a sniper for crying out loud, if I got 10 headshots in a match, I thought that was good. On average, I would get 4 or 5, maybe 6 or 7 headshots, but if I got 10, I was happy with that, because with skill-based matchmaking, I don't know what lobbies these other people are playing in, but with skill-based matchmaking, everybody is butt sliding around the map, which makes headshots really difficult at times. I'm almost reminded of Pomage, right, with his signature aim higher. Well, in this game, to do well, most of the time aiming lower is going to make you do better, because chances are your opponent is going to slide around that corner as compared to running around that corner, and even if they aren't sliding, you still do as much damage to the knees as you do to the chest, so what's even the point of trying to aim high? The only real hard part about most of the camo grind for Dark Matter was getting those headshots with skill-based matchmaking. It took me way longer than I wanted it to, because my lobbies are just freaking ridiculous most of the time, but eventually it got done. Eventually I got through my gold camos and my diamond camos, then it came time for Dark Spine, and again, it took me 9 hours yesterday to finish up those final 8 weapons, and what blew my mind was the skill-based matchmaking and how it changed over time. You guys are watching this footage right here, and you're probably thinking to yourself, and probably already wrote in the comments because you never bother watching the entire video before you chime in, but you're probably thinking, I 2-boxed with my father 4 account. Oh no. Oh, absolutely not. I earned this lobby by fucking suffering for hours and hours and hours on end, because the sniper triple kills, while kind of difficult, it's kind of like a skill-based challenge, I suppose, but you go into face-off, especially on Warhead, it's not that hard. Eventually you're going to get your sniper triple kills. Same thing is true with the combat knife. The baseball bat is a lot more luck-based. I had to go play hardcore, and I went into stakeout, and I just got lucky on a couple of streaks. That's all it really comes down to when it comes to getting triple kills with a baseball bat. You have to play hardcore, and you have to get lucky. Everything was pretty simple, except for the rocket launcher, the stupid HE1 free fire rocket launcher, where you have to destroy 5 score streaks in a match 3 different times. And let me tell you how virtually nobody in this game ever runs things like the RC car. They rarely run things like the SAM turret or the sentry gun. So for all intents and purposes, the challenge of this launcher is to shoot down 5 UAVs with a free fire launcher in 3 different matches. It took me so freaking long to do this, not only because it's hard and apparently I'm just completely special when it comes to shooting these things down, but nobody in my lobbies yesterday were actually putting up score streaks. My lobbies at first were all ridiculously sweaty, as they always are. That's the very nature of Black Ops 6. Everyone's butt sliding around the map, but nobody's ever calling in UAVs for some reason. It was blowing my mind. So what I eventually started to do, and this is like the worst part of the challenge design for this particular launcher, is I just started feeding the other team. I went against every core tenet of the Call of Duty multiplayer experience, and instead of trying to do well, trying to get my kills, trying to help out my team, instead I was literally just running around, letting them kill me, so hopefully they would start calling in some air support, just for them to never call in air support. There were times where I would go 0-40 and there'd be 1 UAV called in the entire match. It was actually mind-boggling. Like, nobody was calling in air support, and whose idea was it to make a challenge in the game that has nothing to do with you, but rather what the opposing team is doing? For all intents and purposes, because if you want to do this challenge relatively quickly, you need to have a party of 6 and then just go die a bunch, hoping that the other team can put up a ton of air support. And even if there is a ton of air support in the sky, you have to get lucky. Everyone makes these videos saying like, oh, here you go. This all you have to do is you get the UAV, you put it in your crosshair, you lead it just a little bit, right? So it's right outside the scope, and then you fire, then you're going to hit it, right? That's true sometimes. And also if you're directly below the UAV or the counter UAV, most of the time, if you want to actually hit the thing, you just have to get lucky, because most of the time you're going to be across the map from where the UAV is actually flying. So even if I did get a lobby where people are actually able to put up air support, I had to then get lucky with the rocket launcher. So it became this situation where I would get 2, maybe 3 of these destroys in a game, but of course you need 5 for it to actually count. And so every single game for hours and hours on end, I'm just sitting there on Nuketown. I even tried out some regular 6v6 Dom, wondering if maybe that would be sweatier. You know, just going in there, letting the other team kill me over and over and over, realizing that none of them are running UAVs, backing out, searching for another match, getting in there, letting them kill me over and over and over, just to realize once again that they're not using score streaks for some reason, and then backing out, then trying again. It took hours and hours on end. And what ended up happening was skill-based matchmaking just completely took over for me. It got to the point where Activision's algorithm must have thought that I was away for the day and I gave the controller to a handicapped 4th grader or something like that, because my stats were so ridiculously bad that they tanked my skill-based matchmaking bracket. And you may be thinking, well, that's kind of like reverse boosting, right? People reverse boost, especially YouTubers. They don't tell their fans that, but they reverse boost. Then they get in there, they get their good gameplays, and they act like they're gods at COD, right? Well, essentially, yeah, I guess I kind of reverse boosted because I needed them to put up UAVs, and the only way to consistently do that was to feed them kills. Well, here's the problem with that. They put me in such a low skill-based matchmaking bracket that nobody even had UAV unlocked. I'm talking these lobbies. Look at these lobbies. It didn't matter how many times I searched. Every lobby looked like this. It looked like I was 2-boxing with the father of 4 account, for crying out loud. And I noticed in these lobbies where everyone was a super low level, of course they were all terrible, but they also did not call in any score streaks because they never changed their score streaks. The only ones I would see would be scout pulses and the stupid Valkyrie rocket thing that people have unlocked by default. It became a situation where I spent so long trying to let the other team kill me so I could try to shoot down UAVs that they tanked me to the bottom of the skill-based matchmaking player pool, to the point where they themselves didn't even have UAVs unlocked, or if they did, nobody was running them either. Mind you, I am 3, maybe 4 hours into this at this point, and I'm just losing my mind. 3 hours in, I had one game where I was able to destroy 5 streaks, and that's because somebody on the other team was actually running the SAM turret. Well, at that point, I didn't even know what to do. These lobbies were so brain dead that I would literally just lay on top of the Nuketown sign in the middle of the map, just inspecting my baseball bat, for crying out loud, and nobody would ever shoot me. Nobody saw me there. I got so tired of just running out and dying that I would lay on top of the sign, I would lay in the bed and just sit there and inspect my melee weapon, waiting, hoping, praying that somebody on the other team would call in a UAV, but it never ended up happening. I got so low in the skill-based matchmaking bracket that it just would not happen. So now I'm in a situation where I have to get my skill-based matchmaking back up again. Can you freaking believe this? I literally had to go out there and sweat my ass off so they would hopefully give me harder lobbies where people would actually have UAVs. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that the dark matter camo grind is so tied to skill-based matchmaking here in this game, because I decided, okay, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna run around, get as many kills as I can, play the objective, just like basically wreck these lobbies, and maybe Activision's algorithm will catch up to me. Maybe it'll kick back in and my lobbies will be sweaty again. Well, in these lobbies, like I talked about before, I didn't have to worry about people sliding. I pulled out the Krieg because I haven't touched it yet and activated a double weapon XP token, and I'm not joking, my first game I dropped like 80 kills and 30 headshots. Like, this is how easy the camo grind can be if it weren't for skill-based matchmaking. Like 30 headshots a game, not even really trying. I was intentionally dolphin diving to do the dolphin dive challenge, for crying out loud. Well, here's the problem with that. I died so many times yesterday that they never updated my algorithm, essentially. So for the rest of the evening, I was still in those bot lobbies. 5 straight games of dropping like 80, 90 kills, going on 20 kill streaks, running around with a knife and getting 15 kill streaks just for freaking fun. All that stuff, it would not update. The algorithm would not change. It was freaking weird. but eventually I got into 2 separate lobbies where the other team finally, after all these hours, was calling in UAVs and counter UAVs and the helicopter. The helicopter is basically just a free score streak takedown. For crying out loud, I even took out a Hellstorm, which, mind you, yes, you can do that. Just look for it and shoot at it with a free fire launcher. Eventually, I got my 2 other matches where I destroyed 5 score streaks, and it was all over. I finally finished Dark Spine on everything, and now I have the Dark Matter challenges, which are pretty simple. It just get 3 5-kill streaks with every gun in the game. With the rocket launchers, I think it's just 3 games where you get 5 kills, which is not really that bad. But like I said, my algorithm was so messed up. Activision and its skill-based matchmaking was so thick that they had me stuck at the bottom of the algorithm, essentially. So here I was. I have nothing to do now besides get my 5 kill streaks, and my lobbies are basically like Father of 4 style lobbies. So I ran around, I finished up the baseball bat, I did the combat knife, I did one of the sniper rifles, I did a couple of assault rifles and SMG, and then when I signed in today, the new hit list event is out. This was my first game, my only game that I played today, which if you guys watched my previous video, you saw some of this footage. I finished up Dark Matter for the AS Val as well as the PP919. I joined this game late, dropped a score like that, and look at the levels on the other team. Essentially, my account right now is like a reverse boosted account trying to do the stupid challenge that Treyarch put in front of us. Eventually, skill-based matchmaking is going to kick back in. I imagine if I play more tonight, maybe a little bit tomorrow, eventually things will go back to normal. But yeah, this is just such crazy proof of how ridiculous skill-based matchmaking is here within Black Ops 6. And also, if you're going for Dark Matter and you're maybe not having the easiest time, maybe you're grinding and it's just not really going as fast as you want it to. You see YouTubers like me making videos saying, hey, I got Dark Matter. You see these other guys who had Dark Matter like a couple weeks after the game came out or whatever. Don't feel bad, because keep in mind, it's like I always say, you know, it's so hard to review and discuss Call of Duty anymore because there are literally 10 different skill-based matchmaking brackets, and if you're a good player, getting Dark Matter is like 2 or 3 times harder than an average to bad player, because in their lobbies, headshots are way easier. In their lobbies, the baseball bat is actually like a viable weapon, you know, whereas if you're in the higher end of skill-based matchmaking, using the baseball bat is pure freaking hell. Going for sniper rifle, like triple kills, even sniper rifle headshots is freaking hell when everyone's butt sliding around with submachine guns, you know. It's ridiculous how closely Dark Matter camo in this game is tied to skill-based matchmaking. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just need to make this video here today. I was talking about it in my stream last night, man. It was a 9-hour stream, and people are like, man, I can't wait to see you finally get Dark Matter. I'm like, oh, don't worry. Before the Dark Matter video, there's gonna be a freaking rant, because I'm boiling, dude, as I'm trying to wait for these freaking UAVs to show up in the sky and just to watch my launcher constantly miss and miss and miss. Like, I had this like whole video planned out, like written in my head essentially last night while I was streaming, so I wanted to make this rant video here today. But yeah, Dark Matter is now finally finished, and I do want to make a proper like Dark Matter guide, because there are some tips and tricks I can give, but ultimately skill-based matchmaking, like when it comes to every aspect of COD, is going to determine the pace at which you can actually unlock this camo. Like if I were in lobbies like this one right here all the time, I'd have Dark Matter camo done in like 5 days, for crying out loud. Like it would not take time at all. But if you're wondering about time, here are going to be my stats. They're not good by any stretch of the imagination, because again, everyone's butt sliding around the map doing everything they can and all that, and I'm over here like, dude, I just want to get headshots with my marksman rifle. I'm trying to use an SVD, for crying out loud. Could you guys like stop sweating for a little bit? I realize it's your year, but can it be your year somewhere else? You know, like it was so ridiculous. But I am curious, because we have the prestige stats essentially, and I'm currently 7th prestige. I'm pretty close to 8th. In fact, I'm going to get to 8th prestige relatively quickly now, because if I pop double XP and then go and just unlock Dark Matter on like all the ARs, all the SMGs, like the guns I like using, you know, that's a lot of XP very quickly. So it will be interesting to see what my actual stats are going to be when I'm no longer going for headshots or using guns I don't want to use, but rather just running around with ARs and SMGs, going for kill streaks, playing the objective, trying to win and all that stuff. You know, it will be interesting to see. But ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this video here today. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback on the Dark Matter grind down there in the comments. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.
CIA is a bunch of proud bastards. They won't forget this.